President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a joint news conference following their first extended face-to-face talks in Finland today. Mola Lengi has the latest from the White House.
President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin shook hands in Helsinki's presidential palace ahead of their private one-on-one meeting.
I really think the world wants to see us get along.
President Trump said in addition to discussing trade, Syria, and other issues, he brought up Russia's meddling in the 2016 U.S. election.
I felt this was a message best delivered in person. Spent a great deal of time talking about it.
On Friday, the Justice Department indicted 12 Russian agents for alleged hacking during the election. The one-on-one meeting between the two leaders is unprecedented. Never has a U.S. president met with his Russian counterpart for about 2 hours with only translators in the room. Following the private talk, staff members joined them for a working lunch. Hours before the summit, President Trump raised eyebrows by blaming the United States for the rocky relationship between the two nations. He tweeted, "Our relationship with Russia has never been worse, thanks to many years of U.S. foolishness and stupidity, and now the rigged witch hunt."
It ignores the fact that, of Russia's aggression in Ukraine in 2014, its intervention in Syria in 2015, and its interference in our elections in 2016.
The meeting started with a bit of drama. President Putin arrived in Helsinki behind schedule in what has become his tradition of keeping leaders waiting. President Trump then waited until Putin arrived at the palace before leaving his hotel. Mola Lengi, CBS News, the White House.